Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Yes, it is Sunday night and it is Easter. So I've got myself a very, very big egg. It's not actually that big. I wish it was bigger. And I got myself a cup of tea as well. So tonight there's a lot to talk about. Just because it's Easter, it doesn't mean we're not going to stream and have a catch-up. And actually, it's been a really, really busy week. And for those who are sharp-eyed, you may have noticed things may look a little bit different. Not dramatically from this angle, but I am going to be showing you some things from the other angle in a minute because the last couple of days I've had some time off and I've finally had a chance to finish the bit that you don't see. That's the bit behind the camera. And it's because when I redid the workshop and the office and everything, I'd done thought of 3/4 of it, but I'd never finished that end. And because I've been doing a lot more 3D printing stuff, and actually there's probably going to be a lot more 3D printing stuff coming in the future as well, I needed more space. And I've needed more space anyway, so I've actually had time for a catch-up, a clean-up. For those who can see, it all looks very nice. I've also installed some new storage. Let me just get the chat so I can see it. You can see my quad storage now along the top. Can you see them up there? They're hanging on bungees along the top. So if I give them a smack, we can actually make them fly around a little bit. So I've got them hanging from the ceiling. So now it's really easy for me to pick stuff up because I can just go up and grab it. There's also many an aircraft hiding from this ceiling at the moment as well. But then we've got the more storage there. So what we're going to do in a minute, before we get into the subjects, I'm going to catch up on the live chat first. And then we're going to go for a little wander, and I'm going to show you what's been going on over there. Anyway, I hope you are all safe and well. Thank you, Mike. How are you? Hope you're well. Hello, Erie509FPV. What would I say is the best analog goggle for HDZero, Walksnail, and VRX? Outside of the HDZero goggle, SkyZone 04Xs. But if you're spending the money on the SkyZone 04Xs, you'll be spending the same money as the HDZeros. But that's the thing. So, yeah, it's that's a hard choice. That is a hard choice. My opinion. Bardwell, I think, recommends HDOs are good use. If you're going to get a U set, HDOs, you won't go far wrong. But there are some limitations on HDOs. So, we're going to talk about this. There's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot I didn't even fit into the description tonight. We've got a big update from the guys over at the FPV WTF team. We have a new feature, which has been sort of in the hint for ages, but it has now finally been released that you can stream video to the DJI FPV goggles V1 and V2s. Now, this is not HDMI input. This is USB input, but we can now stream desktop content, and there will be a dedicated video coming on that, but I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. We're going to talk about Hobbywing. They've got some new ESCs, which they've sent me. We'll have a quick look at. We have, let me just remember what I've actually put in the chat. We've got a number of things from DJI. We've got the SpeedyBee flight controller, which I reviewed in the week, and I do want to talk a little bit about this because this, I think, is as disruptive to fixed wing FPV as Bamboo have been to 3D printers. And the reason I say that is this. This flight controller costs $40. And it is the start of what I hope to be a real drop in pricing of wing-based flight controllers because there has been a lot of increase in cost. I want to talk about the multiple DJI leaks. Inspire 3 this week. Mavic 3 Pro potentially this week. And yeah, lots and lots of other things. And as always, what we will try and do is answer your questions as well. But first, we're going to go for a wander. Now, I'm going to see if this works because I'm using micro USB on a GoPro, and this doesn't always work as intended. So let me take a sip of my tea first. And what I'm going to do is prepare yourself. I'm going to swap microphones. So we're going to go over to this one. Oh, that's weird. No audio. So I went to no audio then, did I? That's weird. Okay, wait there. Let's diagnose the audio before we diagnose the video. So let me just test. I'm going to turn that. That's weird. I wonder what's going on in OBS. Can you change the settings live? That's a risk. Shall I check something? I have a feeling something might be happening. Streaming. No, that's fine. Well, that's a little bit annoying. When I did that, that works now. Okay, what we'll do is we'll cheat. You're going to have to bear with me. That's weird because I'm on the road. And the weird thing is, I can see the audio my side when I turn it on. So for instance, yeah, nothing. So that's weird. Okay, right. What we'll do this stack. So we're going to go over to the overhead mic. Okay, so you should still be able to hear me now. I am on this one here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. There is one other thing I can do. That's weird. That should have worked, annoyingly. Okay, 1 second. Let me just plug this in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go for channel 3. Where's channel 3? XLR 3 should be that one there. And now I got to figure out which microphone it is. That one there. And then we're going to go to there. Faders 3. No, that's way. Oh god. Oh god, this is what happens when you don't. Why is that one there? Oh, so unmute. Aha! Right. Right. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Getting somewhere. Right. Can you hear me now? Still. Is that working? I now believe we're on the lav. I now believe we're on the lav. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so that was weird. Now we're going to try the video. This is what this is what we call professional, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go for the video. Well, hey, okay. So, folks, I'm going to take you for a wander. Now, this is the bit you guys don't always see here, okay? So that's my desktop, everything's set up, camera, live chat, everything there. Now, just to give you a bit of a walk around of what's been going on, I've been tidying everything up the last couple of days and moving stuff around whilst I've had time. So we've obviously got the workbench with the oscilloscope, everything there. I've tidied the shelves. They're actually looking a bit empty now, aren't they? But that's because I've tidied things up. Anyway, so this is then the electronics work area over here, which you can see there, which is all looking good. I'm going to move my chair across out the way. That moves all around to this area here. Now, that's where the Prusa was in the past, but that's now moved. Don't worry, there'll be another printer going there. They're not all going to be out the way, but we've then got the big quad and the rover underneath and my camera bag. And look, there's a DJI RoboMaster there. Now, I've done some changes, as I've said, with the quads, and they're now, look, you've got all sorts of aircraft in the ceiling here, but they're now hanging on bungees along there. Now, they are actually out of the way, but they're now nice and easy to reach as well. Someone asked what the big ass quad was. That is a Hexoon Edu 650. I do have a video on that if you haven't seen it. But yeah, there's also there a quad hanging there. There's also a few quads along the top there and a plane look over there as well, which we'll come back to in a minute. Ah, that thing in the corner. Right. That is a TBS Discovery modified with 650 arms with a DJI Inspire propulsion set. Oh, camera went. There we go. I pulled the cable a bit tight with an Inspire propulsion set. We'll grab that in a minute. Now, the big changes obviously are now over this side here. Let me just move my cable as we wander down. And whereas before this side was a complete tip, this side has now been redone. And what we now have, and I know it's a little bit dark, we've now got a lot more worktop area down here. And actually this comes into a big C. Now you can see there's the camera there, which we're filming on tonight. But we've got this big area here, and I'm just going to spam back so you guys can see it. We've then got all my filaments along the top, up there. We've got some RC storage over there because I needed somewhere for remote storage now. We've got those printers, which is the resin. We've got the snap maker and the Prusa down there, and there's space for some more there. And then we've got the back side of the bench where the spectrum analyzer is. You can see that hiding down there. And this. But what we've now got is a lot more space and storage. You know, up there now I've put some of my ready-to-fly quads, also my RCs. They're all my spare remotes at the moment up that side of things. And really, this is going to be the second area for me to work on stuff, and that has been a bit of a task. It all had to get boarded out, but it just now makes life a little bit easier overall, and it's just tidier compared to what we had in the past. And then obviously you guys, is that the Godox light? It is. I intend to change that. I had to make a bracket for that this weekend. Look, there's the shoehorn. It's screwed to the ceiling with a metal tube. But I'm going to be replacing that with... let me get round. Let me get round. Hello. Let's turn this back off. There we go. Right. I will be replacing that with another Godox, in fact. That is the SL60. And let me now just get back over to the proper mic a minute. Okay, we should be back. Sorry. Right, okay, so yes, that's the Godox SL60, but I'm going to be replacing it with a new one. There's a new Godox LED panel out, which I'm going to be ordering. Oh, I spilt my tea a little bit. But yeah, so I just wanted to share with you some of the changes. Now, that's been a big task. I've done no content for the last 2 or 3 days. It's been purely that area there. But the idea of that area now will be a much tidier work area for printing, but also being able to have a sort of an in and out area for stuff. Yeah, I won't be able to find anything. You are right. I needed a bit more of an in and out area for stuff that comes in for me to review or look at, because what I was finding is this place has been very, very messy for a while, and then stuff's been coming in and getting put down, and it's like, oh, I need to look at that. And then it's been at the stage of going, oh, I've forgotten about it, or I missed it, or it wasn't done. So the idea of that blue workbench directly behind the camera here is actually going to be where new product comes in to be looked at. And probably that blank area behind. So that will be something I'm sent. It goes there. I'll then spend, you know, that'll be the ins, and then file it, and go from there. So yeah, it needed a tidy. It got to the stage where I couldn't move. Genuinely, it got to the stage where I couldn't move, and it's just because of my untidiness and everything. But the quad storage I'm really pleased with. I think it looks all right. I didn't know how it would look, but I think it's nice and easy, so I can reach for it. But I thought I'd share that with you guys just so you had a bit of a view of what's been going on in the background. Anyway, we need to get on with normal service. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about very quickly, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, is because I was sent these by Hobbywing, and there will be a video coming, but Hobbywing have got some new ESCs, and I'm a big fan of Hobbywing ESCs, I'll be honest. Now, I'll be open, they did send these to me for free, therefore I just want to be clear up front that I haven't paid for these. They have sent them, but they've got some new 65 amp 4-in-1s that also have variable PWM as well. Very nice pieces of kit. Very nice pieces of kit. I use Hobbywing ESCs an awful lot on my builds. I probably have more Hobbywing ESCs than I do any other, period. About my only complaint with them is they're quite low voltage back, but you tend to find the flight controllers tend to have a decent back. But these are their new 65 amp 4-in-1s. They've got variable PWM. They support the latest third generation. I don't know if these are available yet. These are the new ones, I believe. So I don't know how long. I haven't actually looked at availability on them. Now, I'll be honest, there isn't a lot to show you in the box. I'll be honest, because look, it's an ESC. There's no protection in the sense of there's no shield. It supports the latest version of BL Heli. 32 is basically the right term. So yeah, as long as I think they're selling it as a selling point, but it supports it. There's no heat shielding or nothing like that. It is conformally coated. Build quality is good. There really isn't a lot to show other than that. It does come pre-wired with a capacitor installed as well, which is nice, although there's no XT60 on that side. The only criticism I would have made is would have been great to see an XT60 pre-installed, but that can be a bit thing. They are F4s. So they are a step up, F4, compared to the others. Plenty of FETs. Yeah, and look, there's not a lot more to show on an ESC than that. The build quality is outstanding. They are slightly conformally coated. You can see that as I flick it there in the light. The capacitor size is 680 UF. So that's nice to see on there as well. Does have a back on board. Very small back, though. Very low level, 0.6 amp. But yeah. Really nice to see. Some of my favourite ESCs, period. Just really are. I do like the Hobbywing stuff. I've always found... I've not burned a Hobbywing one out. They're just really reliable. Funny enough, Mike Bergman has just said the same thing. They are just very, very reliable ESCs. They really are. I haven't checked if you can buy them yet on the Hobbywing website. I do find the Hobbywing website really difficult. I don't know if that's just me, but that's the one thing I would say. I do find their website a bit difficult to navigate at times. When you're looking at it, finding stuff is just a bit of a nightmare. So you sort of go into UAV and you go, well, it's not under the RC power systems. I'd not say it's... Sometimes finding stuff on their site just isn't easy. So it comes a bit ahead to do, can I put AM32 on it? I can't answer that question. I don't know yet. I don't know. So I'm going to have a proper look at it on the channel in the next couple of days. Anyway, so. Pavo Christanus, how are you? Thank you for the £10 super chat. I have a potato with a V2 and a Vata with goggles too. I'm in the UK. Can I have both the latest firmware without losing max power? Yeah. Can you update both without losing max power part and get caught by having to use my phone attached? You are in the UK. There are no restrictions in the latest firmware. You can update all parts of the system. There are zero downsides for a UK user to update to the latest firmware. All of the mods still work. All of the hacks still work. There is no remote ID in the UK. You are fine. Absolutely perfect. Don't worry about it. And look, I'm going to say something on this. and this is a rant, and it is not aimed at you, Pavo, but it is something I keep seeing. Every time we have a new firmware release for DJI's systems, the first question everyone's going is it safe to update? Will I lose the hacks? Right. We have had DJI FPV for 3 years. They have never once shut down NACO 1200 milliwatt or anything. They have released, I couldn't count how many versions of firmware for the V1 and V2 system. They've never turned it off. It is basically the attitude I have towards the hacks is it's not even worth thinking about if DJI have shut them down, because they just won't. Now, there are other things that they could shut down, like WTOFS, that stuff. But with regards to FCC hacks and mods, NACO, ham file, don't even think about it. It's not worth thinking about if it still works. It will work. They will not disable it off. Didn't they disable the FPV boost? I think they disabled the hacks on their apps. There's a difference between the app being hacked and the other stuff. There is differences. As far as I'm aware, the Potato still works with the other method. Do you still have a link to the 1200? There is a video on the channel with it. It is still there. Oscar Lang has a good tutorial as well. It's just from a FCC hack point of view, it's not worth thinking about it. That's my point, because they've just never chose to shut it down. Can I recommend a budget Bluetooth mic, as I like to vlog on our adventures for my husband flights in summer? Yeah, okay. If you can't stretch to a Rode Wireless Go, okay, so the first version is very good. I don't know how much the first version is today. Because you can still get it. If the Rode Wireless Go is out of your budget, then consider the Hollyland wireless mic kit. I was sent it for review. It's good enough. Absolutely good enough. Hollyland M2 or M3. Hollyland, look for that thing. It looks like that. The Hollyland mics are okay. If you can't stretch to the Wireless Go version 1, go for the Hollyland mics. Can't remember what version it is. This is the 2-pack, so it comes like this. These are really good. I leave these in my FPV bag all of the time. And these work with iPhone, Android, and cameras. They have cables for all of them. So, yeah, if not, Hollyland. Go to Hollyland's website. I think it's something like the M3, something like that. It's definitely worth a look. V2s have more functionality. Yeah, if you can't stretch to the Wireless Go, though, Hollyland mic. Hollyland Lark M1. There it is. That's an expensive kit. That's $150. But if you search for Hollyland mics, they do lots of other mics as well. You'll find a budget one. They will have kits fairly cheap. 89 quid. The Hollyland kit there. 89. There's a C one as well, look. So there's options. There we go. Simple as that. Overall, simple as that. But yeah, so with regards to DJI hacks, I just, some stuff they shut down, but from an FCC point of view, it's extremely unlikely. It is. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, and again, I did, yeah, my GoPro turned off. You know when that happens, isn't it? It's very, very noticeable. Is this flight controller from SpeedyBee. Now, I do have a review on it. Ooh, that's the wrong one. This one here. Let me just make sure I can see my display. If you haven't seen, this is the new wing from SpeedyBee. I have a video on it, but I want to talk a bit really, and I'm going to go to the SpeedyBee website. Now there was a lot of confusion over this because people were saying, oh, it's another product you can't buy. You can buy it. It's out of stock now because so many people bought this, right, on release. And it's not because it's got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and it's not because it's got an F405, and it's not because of all of the other things. It's the fact it's $40. And there's no question that SpeedyBee are going after Maytexis or Maytech. Without doubt, this thing is a freaking bargain. An absolute bargain from a fixed wing point of view. It really, really is. Now, there are other controllers out there. You know, Maytech do some themselves. I don't know what the pricing of Maytech's flight controllers is like these days. I believe they're expensive. People have been telling me. So if we go, we've got the VTOL. Look, you've got the F405 WTE. Well, you've got the H743. What are the prices of these at the moment? AliExpress. If we look at their AliExpress. So, flight controllers on AliExpress. Just you know, this will probably be about the cheapest place we'll find it. Sorry, no matches found. Brilliant. Well, I don't want it in... well, that's good, isn't it? Oh, that's not very good. Sorry, no products found. Good start. So the 743 is £107. If we change that to dollars, United States currency, US dollars, that'll do. Let's get it in dollars. $129. Wow, 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 wow. Big, big money. Big money. The SpeedyBee is cheaper than the Maytech 411 WTE. Should we have a look at what that is on here? So here we are. We're on the Maytech now. $405, $66 for the 405 VTOL. The 405 WTE is $66, but that's got a receiver built in. Yeah, it's cheap. 411, here we go, WTE, $46. It's cheaper, there you go, than that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a great, great deal. And more than anything, I am really pleased to see SpeedyBee do this because there has been very limited options in the wing market for some time. And SpeedyBee, okay, they haven't been perfect. I know that. There's been people with problems on some stuff. I understand that. But overall, I've got two of their controllers. I've never had a problem. You can't compare F405s. For the money, it's just astonishing. For the money, it's just astonishing. $40. It's good to see them disrupt some of the pricing we've seen, especially on the wing controllers, because it's been noticeably unbalanced compared to, say, FPV flight controllers. It's been noticeably unbalanced. The cost difference. F405 and H743, much faster processor. You'll be able to do more. So if you were looking to run ArdraPilot with full scripting and things like that, you want to go for the H743. Look, let's not pretend. If you want full capabilities, but if you're flying a wing with basic features, whether it be Ardra or iNav, just that thing, absolutely astonishing value. Yeah, absolutely astonishing. What is a whisper? Oh, this is for the American audience. So a whisper is a piece of... Okay, we're going to have to review a whisper now, am I? Okay, on the overhead. So a whisper is a bar of lovely dairy milk chocolate, but it's full of bubbles in the middle. So it's not solid. It's like aerated in the center. So that's what a whisper looks like. Now, obviously, this is the 405 model, so it has full up to 6 UARTs, it has full I/O, I2C, all the usual capabilities you'd come to expect with a 405 based whisper. You also have the additional benefits of that wireless connectivity in the sense of you can get someone else to unwrap it for you and then shove it in your mouth, which means you can be completely hands off whilst out in the field. Moving along. But that whispered your wife's ear. Can you load Hydropilot on it now? No, there's only targets for... Oh, see, I'm trying to think of something. But yeah, so that's what a whisper is. So, SpeedyBee, fantastic, great to see. Really is disruptive. The term to use for what SpeedyBee have done here is disruptive. I'm not saying Maytech are bad. I think Maytech makes some really nice products. They've had, though, the wing world to themselves for too long. And it's nice to see someone else say, hey, we're coming on board. Because that's good for consumers. That's what matters. What matters is what's good for consumers. So, yeah, really nice to see. Really nice to see. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please do put them in the chat before we move on to the next subject. I'm going to break into my egg. That didn't work. Here we go. I had to bang it on some wood. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, mate. This is good ASMR. Houseman Solando Montez, thank you for that. Thank you for that, my friend. Yeah, if you've got any questions, guys, we'll do some questions before we move on. Did I see one earlier? Just scrolling back up. H7's a far more powerful processor for people inquiring. So H7 is, you generally find the H7s have 2 meg of ROM. Can I put an 03E unit on top of an FC on a strike frame? There's no reason you can't. I don't know the size of the frame. But there's no technical reason it can't go on top, as long as there's space. Hey, which hack's currently for the Goggles 2? Right, so Goggles 2, Louis, uses the ham file for the Avata and 03. You don't need to use NACO. You don't need to use NACO _power PWR. Just use the ham config file. I do have a video on it on the goggles, nothing on the ear unit, and that will unlock it to the full motor. Full output. Just the ham file. I call it the ham file. It's the file that is called ham. So if I go... If you search for 03 or FCC hack, Louis, I got a video on it. Simply ham file, nothing in the file. Just zero document file, zero byte file. Ham _ I can't remember what it's called on the top of my head. I got a file with it on. Where is it? Unlock FCC. Ham _ CFG _ support. So, about this Creality printer, is it going to compete with Bamboo Labs in the market for a workhorse printer enders? Shall we talk about printers now, or should we talk about the printers at the end? Because I know printed in 7th, it isn't for everyone. Let's get on the DJI stuff, and then I want to talk about the printers, because it is super interesting. Let's get the DJI stuff out the way. Are the new O3 antennas circular polarized? And will using standard circular polarized antennas from, say, a Vista give weaker signal with linear antennas on the goggles? So the understanding I have from Hugo at TrueRC is they're not. The DJI antenna is partly circular polarized in opposite directions. It's not fully circular polarized. It's partly circular polarized, one way, one the other way. And that's how they're giving you the best of both worlds. Now, replacing the antenna for 2 single antennas, it should be fine. It should absolutely be fine. What would give common sense is if you actually used a left-hand and a right-hand circular polarizer on your rear unit. That would give you a much better overall potential for getting the signal back to the goggles. But it should be fine. Mike Bourbon's paying me to show drone porn. Any chance you'd give us a close look at the Discovery? So, this isn't in a state of working because there's no controller in it. Actually, there is a controller in it. I didn't realise. It's not wired. There's a CUAV NORA in there, which I didn't know I had. I know I had it. It's been a while, but it's in there. Okay, so what this is a TBS Discovery modified. So this has RC timer 550 arms. I think they're 600s or 550 mils. Okay. We have DJI's Inspire 1 propulsion set. So 620Ss with DJI's 3510 350 kV motors. This thing has so much power. I never could 100% tune it well in the old days, but these days the flight stacks are a lot better. So to modify this, you actually have to put standard standoffs in because, let me see if I can get this under the overhead. To show you this, there has to be standoffs under the arms because these arms were really short, so I had to put standoffs in, 3D print standoffs to go between the bottom of them and there. It's got the autopilot in, so that's the same propulsion set that DJI used on the Inspire 1. Same motors, same everything. It is a beast. An absolute beast. It has so much power, it's insane. Payload, because it's not carrying any weight, it's going to be whatever, at least whatever an Inspire 2 is, an Inspire 1 is with the X5R. Can't remember what the all-up weight of an Inspire is with X5R. Inspire 1. Raw spec. Inspire 1 Raw. Let's just have a look at what their spec was. So DJI said the maximum takeoff weight on the Inspire 1 Raw was 3.5 kilos. So this would have 3.5 kilos. I'm not saying the frame would take 3.5 kilos. Yeah, the Inspire I have video of this flying. This is a big craft. A big craft. I should rebuild this again and get it working in today's world is what I should do. The batteries I have for this, let me just show you 2 seconds. She's a monster. She is an absolute monster. Cracking. Love this aircraft. Sorry, I'm missing my battery box. So I used to fly it with 2 of these, which is Turnigy Nanotech 6 amp 6S's. And I used to fly it with a pair. Yeah, it had too much power, Louis, was the problem. And back then when I built it, the PIDs weren't great at reduce. You didn't have a lot of that PID control like you've got now on throttle. So where you could wind the PIDs back as the throttle goes up. But yeah, 2 of them. 30 minutes flight time, yeah. Easily. It's great aircraft. Is that under 250? I'm not sure it'll be under 2.5 kilos. Today, the tuning would be fine. But when I built that, you know, that's going back. It's going back a long time. Do you know, I will have video of that flying. I just don't know where. But I will have video of that in the air somewhere. But it's a great bit of kit. It's a great bit of kit. So that's the Discovery. Under 250 kilos. 3D printers soon. In a minute, we're going to get through DJI first. So, okay, let's get through the DJI stuff. Something has happened that I didn't think would ever happen. I'll be honest, as someone who's a big Inspire user, it's been a while for those who watch the channel. I know this is an FPV. I'm not going to talk about it too long, don't worry. But this week, we are finally going to see something that I thought may never happen, and that is there is going to be an Inspire 3. Now, we don't know a lot. 13th, so we've got a few days to go, but they clearly are making another Inspire. It appears to be the case that it's going to be running the X9, which is a hell of a payload on an aircraft. For those who hadn't seen it, if we, I'm trying to think who, Jasper Ellens, I think. Let's search for Oslav. Did he put any more pictures up of this thing? We'll talk about the Mavic 3 in a minute. Yeah, he hasn't got many images on that there. Has Jasper commented on this? Because Jasper is the guy who used to be on Drone DJ. Is it Jasper? Sure, he's probably commented on one of his videos. Sure it's Jasper. I'm surprised it's not. Unless he's blocked me. We did have a bit of a falling out. We search for DJI 3. Someone's probably put a. I suspect he'll have a post in here somewhere. Where are we? Oh no. I'm wondering if he's blocked. Ah, well, Drone XL. Here we go. Drone XL will have images. I'm just trying to find the one of the big payload. Oh, they're not here. They're on Facebook. There was some. I put them on my Discord. Let me find them on my Discord. Let's go on my Discord, and they are definitely under here. For those who don't know, I have a Discord server, and I show the payload. There we go. So here is one of the payloads, which is big, 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 to say the least. That is a big, big payload. A very, very big payload for an aircraft. We've then got, obviously, an image of it in flight. But this looks like a similar camera, but actually a bit smaller. And then they've got a new connector from the looks of it on the gimbal. But she is looking like an absolute monster. Now, obviously, alongside that, there's also this thing, which is definitely looking like it's coming as well, which is a Mavic 3 Pro Edition, which is going to have 3 cameras, 1x zoom, 3x zoom, and a fixed 7x zoom from the seams of it. And it also comes with pretty stained glass filters. As well. But we're going to see some big launches from DJI this week. Nothing in FPV, but definitely some big launches in DJI. And look, from the Inspire point of view, I'm really pleased to see it happening. It's been a long, long time. What I do know is I won't be getting one. I'm expecting this new Inspire to be crazy money, if I'm honest. And I'm talking 10K upwards. I'm expecting it to be a very, very expensive piece of equipment, which it should be. You know, I don't think they've gone to all this effort for no reason. It'll have front and rear avoidance sensors. It'll have upwards, downwards. It'll have some nice new stuff as well. But it's going to be really, really interesting to see. And as for the Mavic 3 Pro, interesting. Is this going to replace the Cine version? So you'll have 3 cameras. Is the Pro more Pro than Cine? That remains to be seen. Is Cine better than Pro? Is Pro better than Cine? Is it Cine Pro? Is there going to be a Mavic 3? So then we'll have a Mavic 3 Standard, a Mavic 3 Pro, a Mavic 3 Cine, and could we have a Mavic 3 Pro Cine? Maybe, as well. Oh, and a Classic. Sorry, not Classic. Classic Standard. Yeah. If 10K will not compete with the M30, different aircraft, different markets. I'm talking 10 different markets. Completely different. This is Cine. They'll want to hang an X9 off this for the cinema platform. But I'm still not sure about 3 cameras. I'm still not sure on them. But we will have to see. We will have to see. Okay, so Fly FPV. Is it true that the Goggles 2 can only get Air Unit and Vista to 700 milliwatts? No. My observations are the output level on all of the Air Units goes to the same with the ham file. Whether it be 03, whether it be Vista or DJI Air Unit. What we don't know is what that maximum level is. What I can tell you is there is no difference in RF output power that I can see between the 03 Air Unit with ham file and the Vista or DJI Air Unit with ham file on 03 Goggles 2. What we can't say, though, is what that maximum power is. That maximum power could be 700 milliwatts, and that's what it is for the 03 Air Unit. We don't know what the maximum power is. You cannot measure reliably DJI's RF power levels. The only reason we knew DJI went to 1200 milliwatts before is because they said so in the menu. We never really had any proof that it went to 1200 milliwatts other than the menu saying it did. What goggle VTX combo do you currently pick if you just started an FPV? Budget about 900. Today, if you're doing freestyle, you want to get into FPV, 100 to 150 quid. 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 100 to 150 you're gonna have to. I think I'd go V2 DJI goggles, and that gives you the best of all worlds as quickly as you can get them. V2 DJI goggles with either O3 or the other units. What's some of your favorite 6S batteries? I predominantly use China Hobby lines. That's the ones I've been using. I've had a few failures, but I tend to stick to CHNL. The Mavic 3 Pro is exactly the same as the Mavic 3, just with another camera. Yeah, that seems to be what they've done. But you get more pin with the O3 unit. Penetration. You remember, but we get longer range test in V2 goggles versus 2 goggles in penetration tests. Remember, though, they are completely different codecs. When you're flying the V2s, you're in H.264. When you're flying the goggles 2, you're in H.265 on O3. When you're flying the goggles 2 on the ear units, you're on H.264. When you're flying the O3 on the goggles 2, you're in H.265. It's not apples for apples. There are differences in the codecs. I have always found overall O3 outperforms DJI FPV version 1 substantially in my testing. It's night and day better across the board. Penetration, overall performance. Is there a technical reason all these digital video systems can't output more than 700 to 1200 milliwatts? Yes. The technical reason is they're all using preamplifiers and power amplifiers for Wi-Fi. So the power amps that they are using are all based on Wi-Fi technology, because that's what we're basic. Look, these might not be Wi-Fi, but it's the same band. It's the same system. There is basically no country where a higher level than about 1200 milliwatts of Wi-Fi is legal. Therefore, power amplifier manufacturers don't make power amps over that level. Therefore, that's what we're left with. The amps that we're using are directly designed for Wi-Fi OFDM links. And that's what's being used in FPV. And that is the technical limitation. Because there basically are none that go higher. OFDM versus what in analog? Analog's different because they're using chip. The power amps they're using in analog is a bit... Okay, first of all, there are some real technical differences in a wideband digital OFDM signal. Yeah, industrial grade, Louis, but they cheat. They're not they're not available off the shelf, let's just say. I chose the words for that specifically. They're not... Yes, you can get what you want, but they'll be military, commercial, industrial. What I'm saying is, from a consumer point of view, for an off-the-shelf component, there is nothing basically that exists. What they cheat at larger levels is start doing other stuff like push and pull amplifiers and stuff like that. But all of the amps are pretty much the same. From a consumer level, there's no point discussing stuff that isn't consumer because it just gets confusing. The issue with analog versus OFDM. So, a wideband digital OFDM signal is very hard on a power amplifier. You've got to take into account there could be 256 individual carriers in that OFDM block constantly switching. It is really hard on the amp. Analog is different. You're just amplifying a carrier. You can use RF transistors to amplify that carrier. You don't need a special amplification chip. Whereas in digital, there's a huge complex world around just amplification alone. Happy Easter, by the way. Zorro, test guy. Looking to move from box goggle to what's good analog. What is a good analog goggle to get? It's hard to say. I'm not the best expert on analogs. I'd be looking for a good set of used goggles if I was going analog now. I wouldn't waste on new. Skyzone 04X's are fantastic, but it's hard to recommend them today. I would just say someone goes and gets a used set of V2s. That genuinely, or V1s, even V1s, but you can't have 03 on V1s. Get out V2s, you're laughing. Do I think Orqa will do his own HD system? This is interesting. Okay, so Orqa. FPV Blue, who've been around a while, have hinted that they're working with Orqa on something. I don't know if it's true. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what it will be. Would I be shocked? No. Do I think you're going to see a polished, off-the-shelf digital system from Orqa anytime soon? No. End of. Not going to happen. Just look at HDZero of how hard this is. DJI have made digital FPV look really easy. But that is because they have like 7+ years of digital experience. They've been making wireless digital links since the Phantom 2. They've been doing it a very, very long time. HDZero have their issues today. Still, it's not because Carl isn't amazing at what he does. He's still working on it. Avatar is sort of getting there, but it's still not perfect. You can get a system out, but I just don't think there's any chance someone else is going to come in and compete with the 3 today. I think it's going to be really hard for 3 to survive. Honestly, and this isn't against anyone. Genuinely, I don't know how 3 digital FPV systems survive. I just don't. Now, who will be the one to fall? I don't know. I hope it's none of them. I genuinely think all 3 systems are fantastic. They have their benefits. They have their downsides. But I just don't see there's enough market cap, enough people to warrant 3 systems being in existence. DJI won't be going anywhere. DJI is the Tesla of FPV. Really interesting comment, Adrian. They make it look easy. No manufacturer can make a profit from electric cars. Only Tesla and build your own drone. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be... I think we're going to see a contraction. I don't know who it will be. Perhaps DJI will pull out. Who knows? I think it's going to be really hard, though, for 3 systems to survive. I just think it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. And DJI, people underestimate DJI. DJI have bonkers amount of experience in wireless video, more than any of the others by a country mile, because they've been doing it for so long. And that's why DJI have been around so long. It's getting there. Walksnail is getting there now. It's flyable. It's not alpha anymore. I wouldn't even call it beta anymore. It's certainly doable now. But it's got a long way to go as well to catch up to DJI. No one's near DJI today. No one's even in the same country as DJI at the moment. They are leagues and leagues ahead. They are Apple, and everyone else is another thing. I bought Orcas with the belief that they were actually going to do a HD system. I'm still waiting. I've lost faith. Yeah, Robert, and that's a real good comment in the sense of that's a sentiment of a lot of people. I think the biggest mistake Orqa have made is they shot their mouths off saying they're going to do something and they didn't do it. And what you've done is they've encouraged people to buy into an ecosystem, the goggles, with their ready for digital connector that they market, yet nothing uses it. And look, I like the Orqa goggles. They weren't for me. I like Orqa as a company. I think they do some good stuff. They'll probably hate me for the comments I made on their goggles. But they bullshitted the community into buying a product that they haven't delivered on. And that's fact. That's fact. You know, I don't know how prominent they even have it on their website now. Have they still got it prominent? Yeah, the field of view wasn't it for me. You know, look, how much are they marketing this? If they're not marketing it now, then fair enough. But they did market it. See, look at this. Look, this is the top of the page, right? And this is the bullshit that winds people up, right? FPV-1 pilots, right? Most advanced FPV goggles for immersive flying drone experience. You scroll down, crisp and clear. Fair enough. Good comment. OLEDs. We'll buy that. We'll take that. Experience portal to the world of digital. High speed, multi-purpose interface for future expansions. When? When are we going to see a single product that will connect into that? When are we going to see anything that is remotely capable of using this? This is utter nonsense without a product that delivers upon it. And it has been how long? When did the Orqa pilots release? I'll tell you when. Let's go on YouTube because my video was on release. Virtually. I did my video on release. It's not ranked very well. At all. When did these come out? A year ago. A year ago. Oh, mine's there. There it is. A year ago. 12 months. And it still hasn't happened. Utter, complete nonsense. And I'm sorry, Tony probably will hate me at Emission RC. Hey, Tony, I wish you all the best. I hope everyone at Orqa as well. But this is nonsense. You're marketing something with future expansion as this big thing. And it's just nonsense. It's baiting people into something that's not happened. I understand plans change, but it's this marketing crap that gets me with them. Do I 3D print? What's the 3D print? I tend to always use the same TPU. We'll talk about that in a minute. Orqas are marketed as digital ready. Technically, they are. You can't go after them. They're digital ready. There's just nothing that can use it. It's just utter. This stuff annoys me. And look, there are many companies who get things wrong. But this is BS. It really is. Okay, so if you've got any questions, please do let me know in the chat before we talk about printers. But yeah, I agree. I don't think there's room for another digital system. And in fact, I think there's going to be a contrasting in the long term. Any idea why my battery's charged 4.2 volts, but my goggles always say 4-ish? Which goggles? You can normally have... there's normally an adjustment on some goggles for the battery. It might be detecting wrong. I think we're all digital ready, but I didn't have to pay extra for it. Hello, Captain Bry. How are you? Check the super chats. Let's check. Ian FFPV, sorry mate. Man, just a PSA, a good amount of us on Walksnail Discord are getting solid red light on VTX when trying to update to 32.37.10. Yeah, I've seen that in the past. Have you guys tried the renaming to see if it works? Or have you tried downgrading the firmware to like an earlier version and then, not the last version, but the version before and then going up? That usually works. My DJI V1 goggles also read a voltage. Get an alarm before needed. Yeah, the DJIs always have, and there's no adjustment on them, unfortunately. But yeah, the red light. Try downgrading. Literally nothing works. Any news on my FetTech build? Yeah, I haven't started it yet. In fact, I need to order some motors because I need to do the FetTech build. That's one of those other things that got layered in the back and forgotten about. But for others, it didn't work. Interesting. What I would try is go back a few firmware versions and then try to go up to that one. I've not had it. Have I tried to get the DJI FPV controller 2 to work with the DJI FPV Sim on PC Windows? I haven't tried, Louis. As far as I'm aware, though, it usually works. To be honest, I don't use the DJI controller. I still don't recommend people do. I don't like it at all. The RC Link is horrific. It's still not great. I haven't had that on the avatars, and all of my VTXs have updated fine. So it's really hard to say what would cause it. But usually I'd go back. There's also been a lot of people struggling to update the latest firmware on the goggles too. So on my goggles too, my Betaflight OSD used to read 4.2, but now suddenly it reads 4.0. Weird. There is a setting. There is in Betaflight. You can go under... Let me find a USB. So when you do open Betaflight configurator, desktop, Betaflight, where is my configurator gone? There it is. Sorry, I use the standalone most of the time because of the version differences. So if we go to the desktop, plug in a flight controller. Yes. Close. Okay, so if you go down to power and battery, this isn't going to be very easy for you to see, but power and battery. And here, you've got your scalings for your voltages. Okay? So you've got your voltage meter and your amp meter. So your scale is here for your battery voltage divider value. So you've got multiplier value, divider value, and scale. I would adjust the scale slightly. There is a calculator you can use out there to get this right, but you can just manually tune it yourself. But there is a Betaflight voltage scale calculator, I believe. I've seen it in the past. There you go. On Kiwi Quads, I think it's this one here. There you go. You can put your readings in here. And it'll tell you what the new ones need to be. So you can say what the reading is for the current draw. Current sensor. Voltage. Is there one for voltage? No, you might have to do the voltage manually. You might have to do the voltage manually. But yeah, it's those scale adjustments there. Yeah, that's for current, not voltage. Yeah, I want to do the FetTech build. I need to get some motors. I'm going to I need to get some more. I'm going to probably build the SpeedyBee frame up. And I'll probably put it in that. Although I don't really feel like this is the build I want. I don't know. If I take the back off, it'll be all right. It's a bit long for a bit of a basher build or a fast flyer. But yeah, I'll probably go with this build. It's the only spare frame I've got at the moment. No, I wouldn't have GPS on it. That was just the thing build. I wouldn't have GPS on it. Now, just something I want to mention before we move on to the printers is that you guys will see a lot of new GPS modules hitting the market. Now, there are 10 M10 modules a penny right now, and it's like every manufacturer is releasing M10 GPS modules. We've got the Flywoo ones, which are very good. I've spoke about them on the channel already. If we search for GPS... We've got the Flywoo modules, which are available here. You've also got Flyfish RC. I think it's Flyfish RC. Here we go. These have got a new M10, although I need to speak to him because he's called it an M10. He's called it an M8 and says it's an M10. I don't know why they've... GPS, search for GPS... There's this new Flyfish M8 QMC, which hints that it's M8. Yet, it says based on the 10th generation U-Blocks chip, which is a bit confusing. But you are seeing a load of M10 GPSs hitting the market for like really fairly low money. You know, if you go on the Flywoo ones, they're like $20. You've got one as well. M10, overall, there isn't... Rob Rowe says, what's the difference? So, overall, it's faster and lower power. That's the back-end stuff. Supports up to 72 satellites, 32 concurrently. Overall, it's just a bit more sensitive and faster, lower power. But it's their 10th optimization of the U-Blocks chipset, and they just work really, really well. Yeah, definitely faster lock. Definitely faster lock time. They're just more sensitive, faster, better overall. But you're seeing a load of them. And look, this $20 mark is incredible to see GPS modules in. Again, M10 Flywoos this. And look, I'm not being funny. I have been someone who has bought a lot of Maytech GPS modules. I have always been a fairly big fan of Maytech GPS modules. This one especially. That's not the M10. Oh, no, sorry. The M8Q I used, not the M10Q. I used the M8Q a lot, but there's now an M10Q, $33. M10Q and GPS and Compass. So, they are more expensive. But it is interesting to see a lot more of these modules coming out now. There is more and more hitting the market. There really is. I just want to say thank you to Ray Digital Footprint for the $2 for the thank you. And Dave, thank you, my friend. What's up, FPV? Sorry. Thank you for the £5. That's incredible. Yeah, they are. The M10s are the GPS to go for. If you're going for a GPS now, just go for M10. If you can get an M10 for $20, just do it. You won't be disappointed. Should be fine. You've seen a lot more of them hit the market. Hello, Cool Cat. How are you? Right. Let me just get onto the right screen here, because I've lost it. Okay. Now, let me move that there. I can see the time as well. Now, the last thing I want to talk about tonight is 3D printing. As I've got my new space, I'm going to be doing a bit more and talking a bit more about 3D printers on the channel. It's probably something I'm going to... Don't worry, nothing's changed on FPV, but there will be more about 3D printing. Now, I'm really excited. I was wondering there was an LED flashing. I'm really excited because I have a new 3D printer en route, hopefully, which I'll be talking about soon. But today we have had a big release, and this is, where's my Prusa? My Prusa's down there. If you didn't see it at the start of the show, Adrian, it now lives down there. Down there. It's there, don't worry, it's not gone anywhere. But yeah, today we've had the release of 2 new printers from Creality, the K1 series. Now, we need to wind back a bit, about 12 months, and this is very relevant because there is a company called Bamboo Printers who really have been disruptive in the printer market. For those who don't know, though, Bamboo, and let me just move that to there so I can see. Bamboo are a company founded by ex-members of DJI. In fact, the main man, Dr. Turbo, was a very regular guy on RC groups, and the man, as I understand it, behind the Mavic, just to give you some ideas. Now, Bamboo really did disrupt the market with the release of the X1 Carbon, first of all, but then they released the P1P, for those who don't know what it is, which is a cheaper version with a few features less, but overall the same platform, same size, same speed. It just didn't have LiDAR, it didn't have the color touchscreen, it didn't have sides, but it had what was important, which was the speed and the build volume. Now, they really did turn things inside out, and the real big difference sort of is this. Look, I've had my Prusa, and Prusa it's been an amazing printer, and I do class it as an appliance, but it's not an appliance out the box. It takes some tuning. And what Bamboo did, I think, better than anyone was deliver a turnkey printer. And they've done what DJI did. In fact, the P1P is a direct play out of the DJI drone release playbook. So you release a high-end model first of all, okay? The Mavic 3 Cine and the Mavic 3. The Phantom, the Inspire 1. The Mavic 2 Pro. You release the high-ends first. You sell a bunch of them. The DJI Goggles 2. You sell a bunch of them. You pay for all your development. You pay for all of your tooling with that expensive one. And then, when you've paid back all of that, you then produce a cheaper version based on a similar platform with most of the same features and sell it for less. Mavic 3 Classic. DJI Goggles Integra. The Phantom 3 was a cheaper version of the Inspire. This is direct DJI playbook. It really is. It is. And look, Bamboo, for those who don't know, they've done an outstanding job. Now, they're not open source. Let's not pretend. They're not open source. They're not designed to be. But they really have disrupted the market. Okay? They literally walked in and kicked the 3D printing market around. With the P1P and the X1 Carbon, especially the X1 Carbon with the multi-unit. It's outstanding. Okay, so we had that. Now, Prusa have just released their Mark IV, which is nice. And I did see Dave's paid a comment. I'll have a look at what's up. Bought a new half-price built Mark III plus Mark IV upgrade. Where'd you get that from? I like what Prusa have done, but it's still DIY. Creality have been a company that have made a lot of great printers. I've got the S1 over there. I think it's fantastic. I think it is really, really good, but it's not out the box. Now, Creality today have launched 2 new printers. And these are their new sort of bringing the fight back to bamboo, and this is the K1 series. Now, there's two versions. We've got the K1 and the K1 Max. Now, the K1 Max has a build volume of 300 by 300, which is incredible with regards to size. Fully enclosed, like the X1 Carbon, 600 millimeters a second, LiDAR, AI camera, and overall, you know, this is a bit of a beast. It really is. But what they've also done is released a smaller K1 version at the same time. Now, it does have a smaller print bed. It's now reduced in size to 225. So it's smaller than the P1P. And really, the easiest way to explain this is the K1 Max is bigger than the P1P or the X1 Carbon, but the K1 is smaller. But what the K1 still has is a fully enclosed cabinet, full touchscreen, but it doesn't have the LiDAR and it doesn't have the AI camera, and it is a smaller platform. But what is super interesting is what we are now seeing is the age of turnkey printing. This is the new war in 3D printing. We are now moving to these out-the-box printers. Now, price-wise, they're not end of three money. Let's not pretend. They are still, you know, I think the K1 is going to be about $590, I think it was. Let's just have a look if they got the pricing on here. No, they haven't actually. I've seen the pricing in the UK. It's like under $6. I think it's a bit cheaper than the P1P for the K1, and it's about the same price as the X1 Carbon for that. Now, the real interesting thing is how it's going to work. Because, let's be honest, right? Creality make good printers, but then they have their issues, they have their faults, and they're not exactly turnkey. What we do know is this, is the bamboos have been pretty solid out the box. But what I think is super interesting is this new age of consumer 3D printers. And that's what these are here. And I'm actually super excited about these. I think they look fantastic. I'll be honest, I think they've done an outstanding job on the design overall. I think that looks great. From a printing point of view, it doesn't look like a 3D printer now. You know, it looks more like a piece of technology. The other one is big. Fog your motor. Wouldn't be surprised if it comes with proprietary software. Chances are, yes. Yeah, there'll be a lot of proprietary software in there. They're saying you can do a Benchy in 13 minutes or the Gorilla in 4 hours and 21 minutes. It isn't using carbon fiber rods from what I can tell. They are still... From what I can see, what I saw was steel rods. But then again, that there hints at carbon. Look at the colour on that. That's not metallic. But from what I saw on the original images... So which one is this? This is the K1, right? So that is steel rods. Is that steel? These aren't real images. The problem is these are bloody renderings. Is that steel or is that carbon? I think it's steel. When I looked originally, it all looked steel. But we're going to... The problem is this. See, look there. That's clearly steel. That is clearly steel. But it is interesting, and I think overall this looks like a lot of inspiration was taken from the X1 Carbon with this design and feature list. Oh, yeah. Without doubt, a lot of inspiration. What I do like, though, is you're still getting a color touchscreen and you're still getting a fully enclosed cabinet with the smaller, cheaper model. I think that's good. And hopefully that will drive Bamboo to do something as well. But it is super interesting to see it. And look, Bamboo sort of have already started to react to this. They've put a blog post up on their website about this, but they're also now including, with the P1P, they're now including the camera and the LED as standard, which that was originally a early buyer bonus, early bird bonus, but they're including that now. But I think they need to toss some sides in now to compete. I think if they can put some sides in as well. But look, I think what's super interesting is Creality. If anyone could compete with Bamboo, it'd be Creality, because they have the experience. But Creality are a company known for copying. I'd be shocked you got a Volron for half the price, Kyle. The last time I priced building a Volron was nearly $2,000. Built-in input shaper. Yeah, we've got input shaping on. I've got input shaping on the Sonic Pad on the Ender 3S1. Yeah, it's got, look, it's running Clipper. Let's be realistic. Creality equals DJI? No. Bamboo equals DJI. If I'm going to call Creality someone, probably Autel. I'm sorry, but that's the truth of it. What Creality have been really good at is taking what other people have done and running with it en masse. I think Bamboo are DJI, without doubt. And I think they're Autel. They make a copy product predominantly across the board. You know. And don't get me wrong, they've done some great stuff. And I'll be honest, I have an S1 over there, which now has the Sonic Pad, which now has... I haven't upgraded the bearings. I haven't changed the height bed. It prints all day long. Good enough. And look, I'm not someone that's going to sit here and say... Look, I can look at every print and go, oh, there's imperfections. What I don't do is hunger for the perfect print. I don't sit there and go, oh my God, there's a blemish. High-fly FPV, I have 12. What I look for is it functional? Is it clean? Is it tidy? But yeah, I think it is super interesting. S1 with Sonic Pad isn't interesting anymore. No, 100%. What Creality have also done is killed a lot of their cheaper lines. The Sonic Pad is pointless now. Sonic Pad is close to pointless unless you already own a product. And I like the Sonic Pad, but there are licensing issues on the Sonic Pad. It was one of the devs of the Clipper reached... Look, Creality have apparently, and I don't know if it's true or not, but there are some licensing systems with some of the software, apparently. One of the devs has put a comment on my review. Does this mean Bamboo printers have GPS installed? I think, though, for FPV, because I want to swing this back round, I think we're getting to a stage where there is going to be some really good printers available out the box for people in FPV. Yeah, 100% Lon. 100%. Bamboo have brought turnkeys. They've done what DJI did. Turnkey. You buy it, plug it in and print. And that's what Creality are trying now. And that's the super interesting thing, you know. But I think for the FPV community, these things are good. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, they should all do TPU. They should all be fine. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out. Robert Rosser, an AOS 7 frame, and currently swapping it from analog to HDZero freestyle. I've got Taranis X8 frame with Axis Flying 3.1 yet to finish just for fun. Oh, sorry, I thought it was a question. Sorry. A CB1 with an adapter board is cheaper and more versatile than a Sonic Pad. What I liked about the Sonic Pad, it was very good out the box. I liked the Sonic Pad as an out-the-box upgrade. I think it was very good. But, as I said, there is, if I just find my video a minute, there was a comment on it from a dev. Actually, I need to find the video first. Yeah, smaller printer would be very cool. Like, yeah. The problem gets as well, though, is how small does it start? Where does the cost saving stop? So where is the point of size versus cost in a 3D printer? And, you know, is there a point where you go, well, it doesn't matter how much smaller we make it, it's still going to cost 400 quid? If you know what I mean. All right, let me just find the comments. Okay, so this was the comment by Pedro Lambs. Okay. And I don't know who Pedro Lambs is. Okay, so fairly well known. I just want to check who he is. So the comment is, and I'm going to pin the comment. Warning, the Sonic Pad does not run Clipper. Instead, it uses an unsupported fork of Clipper. So you will not get any official Clipper support on Clipper Discord server. I would strongly recommend anyone considering the Creality Sonic Pad keep well away from it. And one of the developers of Fluid Web Interface for Clipper and Creality have broken our licensing by changing Fluid code, including the main logo and the copyright, and not sharing those changes. It's nice to see Fluid in such a product, but it's a shame we were never contacted about this, and they just decided to change the code and remove any reference to Fluid or the team who actually maintains it. So that is by Pedro Lambs. And if I go on the Fluid, yeah, and this is very reminiscent of Express LRS. So this is Fluid. If we go to Insights, Contributors, I don't know if his name will be on here. Come on. Thank you. And there we go. The man is here. There. So again, here is a potential problem. How much of these printers is going to have more forked open source software? We don't know. But look, let's not pretend this stuff doesn't happen all of the time in China. But this does very much feel like the Express LRS thing and Beta FPV. Or FR Sky. You know, Beta FPV are known for it. DJI, sorry, Creality. Robin. I was a copy of JS firmware at one point. Sorry, yeah, I need to wind Stream Elements neck in. Sorry about that. But yeah, But they are super interesting. What I hope is they push bamboo. Do I have a take on Florida not using DJI products? Yeah. Obviously, it's quite a big news story, this, in the US, and I haven't really spoke about it much. I know Ken Dobo's put a video out about it. I haven't watched, actually. I need to watch Ken's vid. I think it's insanity. Utter insanity. Follow proper data segregation practices. There is zero concern. Use an iPad, smart device, offline. It remains offline. There's zero concern. There is zero concern for what you are doing is hampering the efforts of the agencies to help people by simply banning a product for political reasons. There are a lot of things that I can say DJI is bad about. There are a lot of things they can do better. But what we cannot say is they are stealing your data and they are going to cause you problems and they are intrinsically a risk to your security in search and rescue. These products are used daily to save lives. There is no one on the planet that can make a product for search and rescue like DJI does. There is just nothing. Autel are about to release their copy of the M30. It'll be nowhere near as good. It's just going to be meh. And they're Chinese. It is insanity to restrict lifesavers from the tools they need to save lives. It's that simple. It's just madness. Data segregation and handling is the problem, not the product. If you have a data concern, then the device doesn't go online. End of. It really, really is that simple. The problem is, and this is the real interesting thing, actually, and for those who watched the WAN show this week, I don't know how many of you sat through the 5 hours of WAN show. I listened to it over 3 days, and there was a great section in the after hours dark bit where they were talking about AI and they're talking about legislation. And look, how ChatGPT could be a, human ending event. And look, there's some scary stuff here with this. I think it's incredible, but I'm also scared. Genuinely. I think it's amazing, but I'm also worried. But they were talking about the people in legislation and the Zuckerberg thing. And look, the people making the decisions today are 50 years behind in the thinking they need to be able to comprehend what we have, let alone make a decision on it. There is no government in the world that is in a position to start ruling on any of this stuff yet. And it's the same for drones. It's insanity. So I think it's bonkers. Look, I'll give you 10 things DJI are bad at. But let's be honest, they're not. They might be collecting a lot of data, but are they actually stealing it? No. And those products have local data mode. Here's the bloody irony on it, as I hit in. Those products have local data mode. All of the M30 and everything has local data mode. But yeah, for anyone who did watch the after hours, 5 hours, wow. But yes. Right, guys, we're going to have 15 minutes of questions. Any questions, anything. ChatGPT is crazy. ChatGPT is crazy. There is a way, of course, cracking your password in 3 minutes. Yeah, look, potentially ChatGPT is human ending event. Here's really simple with ChatGPT. I want you to tell ChatGPT, I want you to save the world. Nice, and I want you to help us protect the planet. There's a real simple piece of logic you can run to protect this planet. It's eradicate the human race off the surface of it that is causing most of the problems. And I even think that we are closer today to Terminator than we have ever been. And it's incredible. And I've seen that come so close. It's crazy. I can't believe how fast we've got from Terminator being... Terminator, let's be realistic. Terminator, Battlestar Galactica, all of this stuff. Look, I am a sci-fi geek. Star Trek, look, I've always have been. BSG, look, all of these stuff trained back to AI that took control and tried to kill everyone. Terminator, whether it be, it's network computers. We are, and I still think it's amazing. And I'm not against it. I just think I am waiting. Did you guys see the Furby? Did you see the Furby? That's everything you need to know. That Furby is going to take us all out. No one reacts, Mr. Anderson. How do I know we're not under control of the robot overlords? Yeah. Am I triggering all the tinfoil hats? Oh, no, Wes, come on. This ain't tinfoil hat territory. Tinfoil hat territory is they could be watching us. This really falls into human extinction potential now. And now you start putting the, you got the ability for it to, what's the term to use? Add-ins, extensions. So Wolfgram Alpha and all of that stuff. They do not have the ability to act independently outside of their programming. For how long? Let's If we were all in a simulation, we would all have amazing beards like Wes. It's clearly this is reality. Yeah. And look, I think it's incredible. I've used ChatGPT. I think it is incredible. I love it. It is going... Are we back? Are we back? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. No, I have not been taken out by the ChatGPT. My internet connection dropped. Now, I have had a new ISP this week, and I'm having some issues, and I'm beginning to get fed up of it. I now have fiber to premises, and ChatGPT is amazing. I don't see any problems with this new AI world that's coming around the corner. It's going to improve everything. I don't understand what all this negativity was about. I'm sorry, I got it all wrong. Is there a gun to my head somewhere? No. I've had a new service provider and I'm having random dropouts, and I'm going to be on to them Tuesday. Sky, Virgin or BT, none. Orqa in Wales and the UK. Yeah, Orqa. Fiber to premises. I have 300 megs down and 60 meg up, but I'm getting dropouts, and I don't understand why, and I need to talk to them, and I don't know if it's the router or the hub or the switch, or I don't know what's going on. I can't. The problem is their hardware is so bloody locked down, I can get like no data out of it. I can't look at logs, I can't look at nothing. And it's driving me bonkers. I can't even see where the issue is. Because the hub is bloody Amazon shit. Ergo, EEGO. And it's got proprietary software all over it, which you can't adjust, you can't get into it. And I can't see logs, I can't see where it's going down, where the connection is dropping. I just don't understand it at the moment. And I've been trying things over the weekend, and it's beginning to annoy me. I was already concerned tonight, funnily enough, before I come on the stream. I wonder if I'd have a dropout. And I will be back onto them on Monday because, yeah, it's not great. You know, we do have... We do have a good speed. You know, what's it going to show on the connection now? Let's have a look what it shows when I'm live. This will probably stutter it up a little bit. Yeah, so look, we're getting 300 down, which is a win. Which is good. And I should be 60 up, but we're streaming on this. So, yeah, so look, we're getting... Yeah. Yeah, see, that was me doing the test. Yeah, sorry, that was me doing the speed test. So the speed is okay. The speed on it is good, but I'm getting random dropouts. I am getting random dropouts on it, and yeah, it's going to drive me nuts if this becomes the norm. So it's fiber to premises. I got 20 gigabits. Hello, Pedro, how are you? Is that who I think it is? It's Pedro. How are you, my friend? I was talking about your comment earlier. I was talking about your comment that I have pinned on my video about the Creality printers. So, I was talking about you earlier. If you go here, I was looking to show who you were. Yes, so yes, I have pinned that to the video now. I was talking about it, and I was showing everyone that. So yeah, look, we were talking, probably go back a little bit after my connection dropped. Unfortunately, I had a drop out of my net connection. But I was talking about the Sonic Pad, and I was saying that you'd made a comment. In fact, I read your comment out on the stream is what I did. So I've read your comment out on the stream about the Sonic Pad and about that as well. And I've now pinned that comment to the top. So yeah, look. And the question will be, with the new printers, because we were talking about the new Creality printers with the K1 and the K1 Max, are we going to see similar problems here? I think what Bamboo have done is amazing. I like Bamboo. I like Creality. Look, I like the Sonic Pad. I don't not like the product. I actually think it's very, very good for what it is and what it costs as a turnkey out-the-box solution. Look, I know we can do things cheaper with a PI. I know we can do stuff easier, but for an it does a good job. But there are then these questions over the software licensing. And Pedro, we see similar to this in FPV as well. Like in this chat tonight, actually, there's some amazing open source developers here for some software we have in drones and FPV. And they very much suffer from the same problems. And the same problems being that people forking the software, running off with proprietary versions that have no backwards compatibility or get stuck on different versions and cause user problems. And we see that as well. So I think again, as I've said, I think what Creality have done with these new printers looks, on the face of it, very, very good. But it remains to be seen if they can deliver on that out-the-box experience like Bamboo have. And these things should be highlighted as well. And look, they won't like it. At the end of the day, they won't like it with people highlighting these things. But what we want these companies to do is play ball from an open source point of view and behave and credit. The worst bit is not even crediting. That's the worst bit, removing the credit stuff. You know, I know they did say it's based on Clipper and stuff like that, but still, you know. But that is the Chinese interpretation of open source, isn't it? Take it for free and do what you want. I'm so late that I missed the chair. Right, guys, if you've got any more questions, please do let me know. We've got a few more minutes before I'm going to finish this one up tonight. I hope you like how the new studio does look now. Well, it's not a studio, it's an office. Overall, I'm pleased with how things. As I said, I got the new 3D printing area down the front as well, which is going to be doing a lot more over the coming weeks and months. Yeah, no problem at all. Pedro, do me a favor. My email address is in most videos. But it's mad_rc@icloud.com. Do me a favor, ping me an email. I'd like some more specifics, please. It should be in the comment section of a video. It should be in this one. It'll be there somewhere. But yeah, so look, from a 3D printing point of view, love the Studio Man Cave. Yeah, it's looking all right. It's not looking too bad at the moment. Right, everyone. Before I finish this one up, I want to say a thank you to everyone who's donated Super Chats tonight. It's really, really supportive. It really is. I am waiting for my refund from Amazon for my goggles too. I need the money, so I pay for everything I've done down there. I am really... We're waiting now in FPV. I think there's going to be some... Do I have a K1 on the way? I don't. No, I've not ordered one. I think 3D printing is interesting. Okay, I'm hoping there might be an X1 carbon en route. We need to wait and see. That isn't confirmed yet. Some things have been agreed, but I'm waiting to confirm. And okay, I'll say this. Okay, I have to be... Okay, let's go for it. I have signed what you would normally class as an influencer or an agreement with Bamboo to have a look at one of their printers. And I will say this, right? Their agreement was genuinely the most open and honest agreement I have ever been sent to agree to. And it was basically as follows. We will agree to send you X. You can do what you want. You can make a video or you can not make a video. You can talk about it. You can not talk about it. We won't hold you accountable to anything. We require nothing from you other than your name and address because we're going to send you this. It is simply outstanding. It blew me off my chair. I'm not using it word for verbatim because I don't want to break, they haven't sent it yet. And look, this should be shouted about. Companies that agree to say, we're going to let you have complete freedom, do what you want. That's incredible. And that says a lot about the company. That really, really does say a lot about the company. That they're letting the product talk for itself. You know, you don't get that a lot. You know, I've got some stuff I need to finish. And I'll be honest, there's nothing that annoys me more. Nothing. Genuinely, right? I had a company in the last 2 weeks send me a product, right? Genuinely, this happened. It arrived. The day it arrived, I got an email from them saying, "Hi, we see it's been delivered. Can you tell us when you will expect to see your video?" That fucking pisses me off. I'm going to be blunt. That really fucking pisses me off. It's like, I haven't even opened the box. And you're asking when I'm going to do the video. I haven't even looked at it. Yeah, honestly, genuinely, the bamboo agreement blew me away. So, I'm hoping to have something to talk about. But not just talk about. It's going to get through its paces. It's going to get a smash in. It's going to get a lot of testing. Look, I have the video to do for the Snapmaker Pro, and I'm 3/4 of the way through because I haven't had a chance to finish the CNC side. And I'm at a point to go in, do I finish the CNC or do I stop it here and release that as a second part? I like to test stuff properly before talking about it. I need to know what I'm talking about on them. You know, like you can do an overview, but yeah, it does. You're just marketing. Just it happened this week. It genuinely happened this week. And I was like, really? Really? Wow. Okay. Just pisses me off. I don't think I have ever not... And then I get do you know, another one? This is the last rant. And then they complain when I don't put an affiliate link in because I don't want to. Because I don't want to cloud the video with it. I use affiliate links from one manufacturer. One manufacturer. And that's Radio Master. And that is because the products are bloody good. It's just... But yeah, it does frustrate me. Thank you. Yeah, look, I tried. Look, I can only be open and honest. That's all you can be. You've got to be open and honest. If you're not, you'll get seen through. And look, you're seeing it now. We're seeing it contrasting. You have to grow a business mind. Yeah, I'm not in this for business, thankfully. Yet. Maybe one day if the world ends. When the AI takes over and all that's left is small YouTubers around the world posting videos about what's been going on. Perhaps I might have to make it enough money to when the bombs drop. But yeah, I try to use a product first and get used to it and talk about it and at least have some experience of the fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? But yes. Anyway, I have ranted enough. I want to thank you all. Right, everyone who's a supporter on Patreon, thank you very much. If you're not following me on Instagram or Discord, please come on. I'm trying to grow Instagram a bit now. I don't know why, but I'm trying. I have an Instagram. Can't remember what it is. I need to put a link in the description. Go find me. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I 100% agree. People have got to make money. I have nothing against people that do it. What annoys me is when manufacturers harass me about doing it. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. What I don't want is a manufacturer harassing me about it. Yes, pushing socials, Patreon. Look, Patreon's a big one for me. I want to say a massive thank you to all of the patrons of the channel. You guys are unbelievable, amazing, as is everyone who's donated a super chat tonight. Right, let's get out of here. Stay safe. We'll be back again, same time, same place next week. Look after yourselves. Have a fantastic week, everyone. I look forward to the release of the Inspire 3 and whatever this new Mavic 3 Pro tree gimbal 4 camera thing is. Yeah. Whatever it is, we'll see it later. Stay safe, guys. Thank you all for the time. I'll speak to you soon. Now I got to find the button. Where is it? Later.